So, part three of what led me to Islam or my journey to Islam, which this would be more like a journey. So as I said, 2015, 2016 is when I just really burst open and started searching for, started seeking knowledge. But in 2016 is when I became a leader. I was taught how to be a leader dealing with a community. In 2016, when I was at Gadsden Reentry, which is the camp that I was released from, I became the imam of the Islamic or the Muslim community there. And for those of you who are non-Muslim who don't know what an imam is a religious leader, basically like a in some way a pastor of a church. But so yeah, a religious leader. And so I became the imam. I was voted as the imam. And I'm gonna tell you, I learned a lot from doing that. I was the imam all the way up until I was released. Um, I learned a lot. I learned how to lead a community. I learned how to stand up for my community when it was time for me to stand up. I took risk. I had to make sure everything was in place. Doing every Friday for Ramadan. I mean, not for Ramadan. Excuse me. I had to make sure everything was in place every Friday for Juma. Uh, I had to make sure everything was in place every Wednesday. No, Thursday for Talim studies. Uh, had to make sure we had a sponsor, someone to come out and, teach and, speak for us, speak to us and, teach and stuff like that. Uh, Ramadan, oh my gosh, Ramadan comes around. I had to make sure everything was situated for Ramadan. And I'm telling you, for those who know, for those who have been to prison, when Ramadan comes around, that's when you have to put in work, especially if you are the imam of that Muslim community. You have to put in work. And so had to make sure that was good, situated for all 30 days, not just for just the, just okay, is make sure this straight for Ramadan and all that. No, Ramadan as a Muslim, as an imam, is a everyday is a everyday thing. I know at my camp, and when I was the imam, at least it was there. Uh, you have to make sure everything is good with the brothers. You have to make sure the brothers is straight and make sure what they got going on with their affairs outside of the Islam, outside the Muslim community. Have to make sure they straight. If a brother is in need, you have to make sure if you and some other brothers can get together to help the brother who doesn't have anything as far as canteen and stuff like that. So, um that really taught me a lot, in that stretch, that time that I was the imam there. And I was the imam there from 2016 to, just like I say, till I was released. Now, I did go to a work release program for like 2 weeks. But when I came back to the camp, I was put back into the position of imam. So, yeah, it is a everyday thing. Also, with the correctional officers, with the COs coming back telling me, "Hey man, what's going on with your brother? Your brother this, your brother that." I mean, being a religious leader, it will teach you a lot. And if you don't have the patience for it, you can kind of, let stuff get out of hand if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why I will always be grateful for that. It taught me a lot. It taught me how to be a leader of a community. It taught me patience. It taught me to not to how can I just say patience. It taught me to be very patient. but it also gave me a lot of motivation. It taught me you have it's a everyday grind. Even though I'm in prison, I'm in prison doing this, but at the same time, you have to, it's a everyday grind. Because when it comes to Muslim, when it comes to Islam, you have to realize you are around a very heavy Christian population. And when I say Christian population, now I'm not saying because everybody's so holier than thou, but people claim to be Christian. So it always be the Muslims who service they try to always play with. It be Ramadan that they always try to play with. And I'm gonna tell you, if you are an imam and these people see that they can get over on you, that they can run over you, that's what they're gonna do. If they see that the community is weak, the Muslim community is weak, they're gonna run over you. They're gonna play with you. I was not the one. I was a strong leader and I had a strong community behind me. But yeah, that was part of my journey. When I was in prison, you know what I'm saying, being a Muslim, that was part of my journey. I was voted an imam. And so when you see me on here teaching, whether it's giving balls or whether it's teaching, on my platform, Islamic Thoughts, I am experienced in this. I don't just get on here and just be saying some, just be teaching and not knowing what I'm talking about. This is something I've been doing for 10 years now. I've been Muslim going on 12 years. Matter of fact, this month will make 12 years. But as far as teaching, as far as giving balls and teaching, I've been doing this 10 years. So, yeah, but it has definitely been a journey. But that part in my journey when I was in prison, when I was voted as the imam, it taught me a lot. And when I say that, I started exposing myself to a lot of stuff. When I became the imam, that's when I really started learning. That's when I really started exposing myself to different stuff because this is my own personal belief. I believe that when you are a leader of any religious group, whether it's Christian, whether it's Muslim, whatever, it is up to you to learn and know about every other belief system that you possibly can. And not just learn the basis of it, the foundations, but no, go deep dive into it. Read the books, read the teachings, all of that. And that's what I did. And that's why I always be so comfortable and so confident in myself when it comes to debating, when it comes to talking about other religions, not far as bashing and debating, but just talking about other beliefs because I know what I have read and I stand firm upon what I have read. And, and that just one of my beliefs. Like I feel when you are a religious leader, or the community looks at you as a leader or a person that's very knowledgeable as myself, as they looked at me of being that as the not only the imam but a very knowledgeable person. I had to open my mind up to other stuff and not just, okay, well, this is what they believe in. No, not just read about what they believe in, but go deeper, read the books, read the scriptures and stuff like that. So yeah, that was part of my spiritual journey. I was an imam, and even though I was in prison as an imam, I was still an imam, and I still handled the religious duties and the responsibility of being an imam that any imam out here on the streets would handle. That Zadaka, that services, Ramadan, speakers, all of that. Dealing with people in the community, all of that. So yeah, your boy is an official imam. Universal Conversation Podcast.